KC's Audio Vault.
Gordie Johnson from Grady.
Part 2, October 23rd, 2009. Welcome back. Still got Gordie Johnson behind the microphone. That was a great acoustic tune, and you played it all with a Sharpie inside the guitar.
I thought there was something. It sounded like a family of squirrels nested in this guitar. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, a Sharpie marker inside a vintage J45. Charming.
We kind of started off the talk mentioning that the guitar has been in this building many times. How long have you had that one?
Oh, well, I've had it since probably the late 90s or something. Gibson gave it to me. It was just nothing special. I didn't want anything too precious because I'm pretty rough with my toys, you know. I break stuff. And they just gave me this one off the wall, and man, it has followed me around. And I could not be more attached to an acoustic guitar, man. I just love it. I've got about 40 electric guitars. I have one acoustic. So what does that tell you?
Do you have a favorite guitar at home?
Oh, well, they go in cycles.
They're like children.
No, I don't have favorite children. They're like, what are they like? They're like, I don't know, your favorite brand of beer or something. Like, that changes sometimes, you know. I just bought a custom finish, like a silver sparkle finish Gibson Explorer that I just like. It's the most metal-looking guitar I've ever seen. It's got a mirror pick guard. I look like I should be in Warrant or something, or Wasp or some band like that, you know. Like, oh, I had to have it. So,
do you bring many on the road with you?
Oh yeah, I always bring half a dozen battle axes with me. Sure. Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah, Keith Richards brings like 200 guitars on tour with him.
Wow, he needs an extra truck to bring those around.
Yeah, man, I saw him at rehearsal. I saw a Stones rehearsal once. I got invited to go, and I got talking to him and to his guitar tech. I was like, how many guitars do you have at rehearsal? Because every time they'd stop, they'd hand him another guitar. Even in the same song, oh, here's another 50s Gibson worth probably $40,000. And here's another one, you know. I was like, why you got so many guitars, Keith? He's like, I'm the richest guitar player in the world. Why not? Well, okay, you got me beat. So I'm the richest guitar player in our van.
Yes.
So that's why I bring 6 guitars.
With the new album, Good as Dead from Grady, it is on C12 Records.
Yeah.
That's a Winnipeg label. How'd that work
Based here
out?
in Winnipeg, man. I know. It all keeps coming back around to the peg. My amp is from Winnipeg. My Garnet amplifier. People don't know that. Garnet amplification from Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like you kind of took with the G and Grady is a little...
There's a little respect and tribute there. Sure, man. And now we got a Winnipeg-based record label here in Canada, so it's pretty cool.
And I didn't even really realize this. You were born in Winnipeg.
Yeah, St. Boniface Hospital, man.
How long were you living in Winnipeg?
I was about 6.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me in bars back then. I had to leave. No.
Where did the family take you next after that?
Oh, man, I lived all over the prairies. I lived in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, Medicine Hat, Alberta. But I spent a lot of my growing up on the border of Detroit, Michigan, Windsor, Ontario. And so I mainly grew up on the other side of that bridge, running around inner city Detroit as a kid. It was just like some urban wasteland playground, man. That's where I got my punk rock together, my house funk, all that stuff. I just learned Detroit blues, all that stuff just got in my bloodstream and never left. The first time I saw a rock concert was Detroit, Michigan.
First time you got stabbed?
The first time no, it wasn't in Detroit. It was in Windsor, actually. But
you've been stabbed?
The first time I had a gun pointed at my face was probably Detroit, Michigan. I think, yeah, that'd probably be accurate.
In what sort of circumstances did you get shanked?
I was at a White Castle drive-through window. Isn't that awful? I drove up to get my bag of sliders. The window opened up. I was like, give me your money. What? Can I have the burgers? No.
Oh, my gosh.
I didn't even get the burgers. Come on, that's not fair. Just give me the burgers at least. You take my money.
Anything like that in the new home? Or, well, I guess it's not that new, living in Texas.
I've been there about 7 years. No, man, that's a really chill place. It's really family oriented. It's very, people are really kind to one another, I find. It's a lovely culture down there. It's a nice place to raise my kids. And music's just really important to everybody all the time, man. Music is just even people who aren't musicians or musically inclined, you got to go see somebody play a guitar and sing. That's what you're going to do on the weekend. Any night of the week, people will go out and hear music. So we're really fortunate to live there and to be able to create what we do there. It's really inspiring to us.
And the barbecue, too.
Yeah, they like to smoke some meat down there, man. And I'm a fairly carnivorous individual. I raise cattle, so I'll eat them too. I know where they've been. It's all right. I'll eat them.
Well, let's try again. We had a failure before, but I want to do If I Was King. Anything you want to tell us about this one off the new record?
I think this is a track that's fairly indicative of what the band is doing now and where we're going. I think it's become kind of a signature tune for us. It's got a very, that border between Texas and Mexico and Mexican culture that permeates our culture in Texas. And so I wanted to bring a little bit of that. Kind of the way, people who remember Big Sugar, we brought a lot of Jamaican elements to rock and roll because we lived in Toronto and the Jamaican community and Jamaican guys in the band. And so in kind of the same way, for where we live in Texas, you can't ignore Mexican culture. It's there every day. So we've incorporated it into our thing.
We're talking to Gordie Johnson. Grady plays tonight at the Pyramid. It's the Rock Report on Power 97. You got so excited.
I had to go on the other side of the desk where the subwoofer is and hear that thump.
That was great.
In your world.
You said you never get tired of hearing yourself on the radio and just...
No, I'd be a filthy liar if I would pretended that was blasé. It's always a thrill, man. I mean, as a record producer, I get to experience that thrill every time I hear any of my artists on the radio. If I'm driving around and I hear the Trues come on the radio, man, I am stoked. I go, oh, I remember that day. I remember being in the studio and how hard you work on it and how much anticipation there is with the artist and what they're creating. And then when it gets on the radio, man, that's like the top of the hill. You made it. You made it to the finish line, dude. That's great.
Well, over the past few years, you've been kind of getting more credits in the production realm. Joel Plaskett, I'm a big fan of his. You got Respectables in there. You're wearing the shirt right now.
That's right. I'm wearing a Respectables shirt.
Are you a workaholic? Do you just write, make music, and produce? What else do you do?
I got babies at home. I got farm animals. I got, a lot of things to keep me busy. But this has been the busiest year of my career, really, between making a new Grady record, touring, and producing other stuff. This year I worked with Taj Mahal, Willie Nelson, Nashville Pussy, Government Mule, The Respectables, Joel Plaskett. I wrote songs with the Trues. There's a bunch of bands in there. I can't remember off the top of my head. Got to work with Billy Gibbons as ZZ Top. Got to go in studio with him. It's been an awesome year of recording and rocking for me.
And hanging out in Willie Nelson's studio too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's that like, hanging with Willie?
Well, I haven't hung with him much. I mean, I don't want to give people the impression he's my golf partner or anything, because I don't golf. And if you don't golf, you're not truly Willie's friend. That's the thing.
He's a big
Willie.
golfer?
Oh, man. He owns a golf course. The studio is just kind of at the golf course. He spends more time on the green. Well, he spends more time on the green than most people. But he's such a generous cat, too. I mean, he's really inspirational to all of us. He's like our patron saint of music in Texas. And we asked him to be on our last record, and he came in and just walked on the microphone, did his thing, and left. No problem. I didn't have to talk to his manager, his lawyer, his nobody. He just, sure, would Willie be on the record? Yeah, sure, he'll be there. He'll come on in whatever day. He walked in and just did it. So casual, They gave me a key to the studio. I got my own key.
Wow.
To Willie's, I got a key to his office. You know what I mean?
Don't look in the top drawer.
I already know what's in it. But that kind of trust, when they put that kind of trust in a person, you live up to that trust, and you look at the quality of work he's done his whole career, you raise your game to another level when you're in his shadow,
We're almost running out of time here. Talking to Gordie Johnson from Grady, playing the Pyramid tonight. And we have a local band opening up, Dominica.
Yeah, label mates of ours, and they just jumped on the tour 2 nights ago. And they've been doing great, man. The crowd's been loving them, and we just just met them. So so far so good. Looking forward to doing a bunch of dates with them.
Cool. Do you have family still in Winnipeg? We were talking before.
Yeah.
You had a chance to meet them up here?
I hope so. I mean, y'all been keeping me so busy talking and interviewing and such.
Yeah.
I haven't even had a chance to call my auntie and uncle, but I will.
Well, we're going to finish off here with another track off Good Is Dead. The new Grady album was in stores, released on Tuesday. Yeah. And we're going to do Boots or Hearts. Now, what made you say, I want to do a Tragically Hip cover?
Well, funnily enough, I had never heard on Tragically Hip. Think about it. When the Tragically Hip was in their heyday, I mean, they kind of still are, but when they were out there touring all through the 90s, I mean, man, I was in Big Sugar. All we listened to was reggae. I didn't know any other. I listened to no rock and roll for a decade except what I brought on stage. There was a whole decade. I listened to maybe some Black Sabbath records and then just reggae all day, all night. So, I knew about the Tragically Hip. I know everybody loves them. But, man, don't take away my Canadian passport. I don't know their music. I don't know. So, Big Ben, our bass player, brought that song to the studio, and he was like, the Hip are releasing a new record. They want some bands to do a cover of a Hip song for the record release party. Would we want to do one? I was like, yeah, I love those guys. Sure, let's do something. What do they sound like? Name a song. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed to say it. But he brought me this Gord Downey just playing an acoustic guitar, Boots or Hearts. I was like, Boots or Hearts. When they fall apart, they really fall apart. I can sing that. I love that imagery, man. Like cowboy boots, man. When they start falling apart, they ain't worth a damn. Sure, I'll do that one. So I listened to it once, printed out the lyrics, went and recorded it once, and just sent it along like a greeting card. Like, here you go, fellas. Congratulations on your new release. It started to get played on the radio, and we started getting requests for it at the gigs. And the record label's like, why don't we put that one on the record? All right. Sure. Sometimes you can try too hard, you know. Sometimes just the toss-off is the best thing you got.
All right.
So it's kind of cool.
Thanks so much for coming in. It's a Grady tonight at the Pyramid, and we've got a couple extra CDs here for Good Is Dead. 780 Rock, pound 975 MTS Mobility. Thanks again. We're finishing off with Boots or Hearts.
Nice.
All the interviews you want on iTunes and at Power97.com. Casey's Audio Vault.
Casey Norman is Power 97's music director and can be heard every weekday from 2 till 6 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Power 97 is Winnipeg's best rock.